The Tribunal hears details from party officials about the Ben Dunn cash bonanza. Leinster House awash with rumour. How soon will they call that election? A Zairean refugee camp found empty. 55,000 Hutus are missing. And in the paramedics' strike, no round-the-clock cover for children's homes. Good evening and welcome. First to the Payments to Politicians Tribunal and more details of Ben Dunn's largesse. Fine Gael's General Secretary said his were the largest contributions to that party. And it emerged that Fine Gael Deputy Jim Mitchell got £5,000 from Ben Dunn in a pub in Castleknock in 1988. The General Secretaries of all the political parties that received contributions from Mr Dunn said no political favours had been offered or received in exchange for the monies.
Fine Gael General Secretary Jim Miley told the tribunal today that contributions by Ben Dunn were exceptionally large, the largest such donations to the party. Mr Dunn gave £30,000 in October 1989 following a meeting with Alan Dukes, £50,000 after meeting John Bruton in May 1991 and £100,000 in May 1993. Another £5,000 mentioned by Mr Dunn but not in Fine Gael records has also now been traced. It was given to Deputy Jim Mitchell in 1988, with half for him and the other half for John Bruton to pay for constituency expenses. Deputy Mitchell originally thought the contribution was made in 1982, but on rechecking his records found it was made within the time reference of the tribunal. Fianna Fáil's General Secretary Pat Farrell said that that party had requested funds from Dunn Stores as part of their regular mail shot of businesses, but that no donations were received. Mr Farrell also said that he had received no reply to 3 letters sent to Charles Haughey in connection with the tribunal's terms of reference. Ray Kavanagh of Labour said that apart from a contribution to Mary Robinson's election campaign, the only money his party had received was a £100 donation to the Wexford Town branch. All 3 General Secretaries stressed that no political favours had been sought or offered as a result of any contributions from Mr Dunn. Dick Spring told the tribunal that he sought £50,000 from Ben Dunn in April 1993 as a contribution towards Waterworld, a tourist-related project in Tralee being funded on a voluntary basis. He said he would not have asked Mr Dunn for the money if he thought any favours would be sought in return. Rory Quinn said Ben Dunn gave £15,000 to the Mary Robinson election campaign in 1990 after the 2 men met in a Dublin pub where a fundraiser for the campaign was being held. Mr Dunn told Mr Quinn that he was a great admirer of Mrs Robinson. Also giving evidence today was Julian Harper, a financial services advisor to Ben Dunn in the Isle of Man. He outlined a number of financial transactions he carried out on the instructions of Mr Dunn, involving the transfer of funds from a Swiss bank account to accounts in London. Mr Dunn told him that the transactions were very sensitive. 2 sums were transferred, £471,000 in July 1988 and £150,000 in May 1989. Asked by counsel for the tribunal if these financial transactions were unusual, Mr Harper said that everything Ben Dunn did was unusual. He was also asked if Mr Dunn had ever mentioned Charles Haughey to him, and he said that on one occasion Mr Dunn said that Charlie Haughey was skint. He said he couldn't remember the context of this conversation, but he took it to mean that Mr Haughey was in financial difficulties.
The Taoiseach has made a personal statement